be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe. Yeah, that's all the shots if you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you wait for. You just gotta be fearless. had nothing to say. You chose to walk, give what we had away. I hope you get what you're looking for, but babe, with me, you close the door on everything.
Good evening and welcome to Oregon Trail Park in Gering, Nebraska, as we are set for an exhibition game between Morgan County Wranglers and the Nebraska Outlaws. I'm Janie Buck, joined alongside Bob Parsons. So we are set to see a 7-inning exhibition game between the Outlaws and the Wranglers. Two teams very well familiar with each other, but a different approach with an exhibition game in play. What should we expect in this contest here, Bob?
If you're the Outlaws, you're hoping to bounce back 2 really rough league games where they get run ruled, get sent home early. The offense wasn't working, the pitching wasn't working. Here you're not going to necessarily see your typical pitching, so you're going to have a little less focus on that. And you're really just going to want to focus on the offense. It's going to be a little bit of a fresher lineup, some pitchers in there, trying to make it a little bit more fun for the guys, especially in these dog days. This kind of final stretch is kind of hard to get up and get motivated for these games at times. But this is a good one where it's going to be a little bit more lighthearted, a little less pressure.
Well, speaking of being lighthearted, less pressure, there is the first Front Range League exhibition start for Adam Aboud, a submarine pitcher for Morgan County, as he made his arrival to Fort Morgan yesterday morning. And he has quickly found a home with the Wranglers side as he looks to find himself well at home, donning the green and gray Wranglers colors. What should we expect from a submarine pitcher, especially with how you don't see them often anywhere?
It's going to be location and kind of what the velo looks like. Oftentimes the submarine, because they're from that lower arm slot, they're going to have a little bit harder time getting that higher velo, but it's going to look faster and it's going to look funky, especially on those right-handed hitters.
With Adam Aboud with quite the storyline. We'll detail all of that throughout the course of the evening in this game, but as we are moments away from first pitch, step aside and be back for first pitch right after this on the Front Range League YouTube.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
When it ends, it ends. I don't leave room to guess. When it ends, it ends.
Play ball!
From the first moment I saw you, I knew I had to make you mine. Wanted to know everything about you.
Let's have some fun in an exhibition game between Morgan County and Nebraska. As we see Xander Martinez on the mound for Nebraska, not a sight that you're accustomed to seeing here, but in an exhibition, well, you never know what to expect.
And Xander Martinez has had a little bit of pitching experience this year. He got some innings, hurt his ankle. Then we saw him pitch in Thursday's game where he struck out the one batter on 3 pitches, and then the lights went out. That one was canned after that. But he's looked good when he's been on the mound, and it should be interesting to see what kind of length they can get out of him today.
And this, again, exhibition game does not count in the standings as both Nebraska and Western Nebraska, Morgan County, with exhibitions all the way up till Thursday of this week. So we'll see what that brings about as far as pitching staffs are concerned. And Bob, we might see you in action on tomorrow.
Assuming that I don't tear any major ligaments or hurt my body in any serious manner, that is the game plan. The game plan for tomorrow is pitching coach AC is going to start that one, and then it's going to go to me, and then after that it's a little bit unclear. We're hoping that that can get us most of the way through, though.
How nervous are you for tomorrow?
I'm just hoping to replicate what I did last time, limit the walks, try and get a couple strikeouts maybe, limit the runs as well.
That's what Xander Martinez looks to do to begin as he faces Tariq Reese. And the first pitch leads to ball 1. But again, with a few changes into the lineup, this is fouled out of play on the part of Reese by Martinez. And you can tell this is not the same level of intensity that you might say in a regular season game. With both teams in the heat of a playoff chase, Morgan County inching ever so closer to clinching a playoff spot, and Reese has to duck for cover. So the count at 2 balls and 1 strike for Tariq Reese. But both teams seemingly on a collision course. Playoff series at the end of the regular season. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Reese elevates one into shallow right, and this is down for a hit. Tariq Reese is aboard for Morgan County with a long single.
And I'm not sure how happy pitching coach AC was about his typical pitcher, one of his only few left, Marcel Alexander, going full Superman tumble on that one.
You made a catch or two like that in your heyday.
I generally played in the infield, did not normally typically track down a fly ball. I believe I had a couple diving catches way back in the day, but I've definitely made diving catches in the infield.
In the air to center field from Mick Bross, and there to make the catch is Seth Onestad.
Should be interesting to see the range we get out of Seth Onestad today. Typically a corner outfielder. He's got a really good arm. but the range should be something to look for today. It's a lot more range in center field as compared to one of the corners.
Brings on Nick Griffin. As we'll see what his bat can do. With so much at stake, and down the stretch this season, strike one, swinging on the part of Nick Griffin. Where Morgan County is set to face Western Nebraska. That coming up on Friday night. A fastball from Xander Martinez for strike two. Runs the count. 0-2 to Nick Griffin. Here's the 0-2 awaiting from Martinez. At the feet of Griffin. That forces Reese. Return to first base. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. This in the top of the first. In the 7-inning exhibition game between Morgan County and Nebraska. Here's the 1-2 pitch that misses wide. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. All this on this. Once sunny, it's hot here in Gering. Ground and ball from Griffin that is in play. Kingston Lee at third. Throws over to first. Safe at first was Griffin. So Nick Griffin is aboard with a single for Morgan County. Which brings up Hoshi Yusei. It's always intriguing when you see non-position players seeing time on the mound, just like Xander Martinez is. This pitch leads to a strike. Xander Martinez, who celebrated a birthday earlier this year. More on the birthday notes next half inning. The 0-1. Grounder by Yusei. Played by McCurden. He steps on the bag at first. Runners advance to third and second with 2 out. And that brings on Percy Odell. So Odell steps up with runners on third and second with 2 outs for Morgan County. As Quintana waits a sign from his catcher in Grayson Matlock. Here's the right-hander's first pitch to Odell. Missed up high for ball 1. There are a few thunder strikes outside of the range that would force the game to be delayed here in Gering. Here's the 1-0. Contact from Odell on the ground. Sliding his manual, turns and throws to first for the out of Percy Odell. And that retires the side for Morgan County. We make our way to the bottom of the first. Still scoreless here in Gering.
I didn't want to waste no time. What's something I can do for you, darling? That would make you smile. I'll bring you flowers, girl. Enough to see for miles. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow, but I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow, but I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. I love your style, and I love your grace. Said I love to put a smile on your pretty little face. I love it when you're close to me. That's where I want you to always be. I didn't know when I found you
Welcome to Gering, Nebraska, Oregon Trail Park, as we are set to see the debut for Morgan County's Adam Abood, as he comes into Morgan County, making his first start. And a submarine pitcher, to those watching online, can see as well, with his angulated style, what he brings coming from California. Having played last year's summer ball in Alameda. And a cool human interest story for Abood, where at one point he didn't even know if he wanted to play baseball. Now here he is playing in Summer Front Range League. Quite the story where you battle so much adversity, and now Abood making his first start here tonight.
He's going to be finishing, just based off the warm-ups, really far on that right side of the mound from the pitcher's perspective. And it'll be interesting to see how he fields his own position here today.
We'll find out early on and talk about special days. How about Braden Basie celebrating a birthday day? What better way to celebrate another trip around the sun and leading off for Nebraska? Abood against Basie to begin. This is a matchup we could very well see later on. As Abood already readies himself for the first pitch that misses wide and outside for ball one.
The Outlaws are hitting 13 today, many of whom are pitchers, and not typically seeing at-bats. Quintana and Cho will follow Basie. Both of them, and Alexander as well, all three of them generally pitchers, and have yet to see an at-bat in an official Front Range League game.
See if that takes place later on. As the pitch from Abood misses. 3-0 the count on Braden Basie. Rather, the count 2 balls and 1 strike. As Abood readies himself. The 2-1 misses wide and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Does the perspective change at all as a pitcher? It's your debut in the league. Then again, this being an exhibition, do you show what you got? Is this pitch missed? That walks Braden Basie. Brings on that of Tommy Quintana.
Tommy Quintana out of Fresno, California. He pitched against these Wranglers the other day, and it was not his day to say. Against the Pioneers, pardon me. He pitched against the Pioneers, and it was not really his day. See if he can return the favor to the Wranglers here with the stick.
That was an 11-0 defeat as Quintana takes the first pitch strike from Adam Abood.
Playing in front of his college pitching coach in TC Fairfield. See if he can impress and possibly get some two-way time up there at Coalinga.
This pitch missed inside. So the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. To the waiting Tommy Quintana. Here's the stretch from Abood. He delivers. Swing and a miss. Throw over to second base. And out on the play is Basie in a double play for Morgan County.
You know, strike him out, throw him out right there. And even though this is an exhibition game, you'd like to try and get as many good reps as you can.
So that brings up next Bumjin Cho. What's the book on him at bat?
He got hit by a pitch in the Buckley Bombers game. It's the only time we've seen him swing.
Well, that's the second time we've seen him swing. Counted 0-1 for Bumjin Cho. Abood delivers. This is fouled out of play. Quickly, the count at 0-2 with 2 outs. Morgan County team set to be in action next Friday against Western Nebraska and hosting these Outlaws on Saturday. Both games at home in Fort Morgan. Grounder up the middle from Bumjin Cho. Reese turns and fires from second base and missed on the play by Calabrese. So that puts Bumjin Cho, much to his pleasure, at first base.
That's a good approach, just trying to hit it back where it came from. And because Aboud is going to be falling really far off to that right side of the mound, he's unable to get that ball that just skirts over that right side of the mound from the batter's point of view there.
Brings on Marcel Alexander. Again, 13 Outlaws are batting in the lineup today. Since it is an exhibition game, swing and a miss from Alexander for strike one.
Alexander does have a good golf swing. See if that can translate here. Typically a pitcher. Started against these Wranglers just the other day.
As he was the early victim to what eventually turned into an 11-run third inning for Morgan County, where they went on to win 12-2 and 6. The count at 0-2 to Marcel Alexander near his head. The throw to second base is nowhere close. Bumjin Cho chugs his way to third base, safely there for Nebraska.
It looks like he's doing somewhat of a kitty cat celebration. He's got the whiskers on his face and eye black. Made sure to make a comment about that after I was done pitching with Coach AC.
How little eye black did you use when you played?
I often didn't use any.
First pitch is up high.
It's generally frowned upon, especially in high school. Some tournament rules are weird. And when you're catching, it's kind of tough because nobody's going to see your face anyways.
That's fair. 2-2. Waiting for Marcel Alexander. A pop fly into foul territory. Making the run is Percy Yodel, and that goes into the bullpen. I will confess, probably shouldn't be saying this. Well, I will anyways. I wore eye blue when I played tennis in high school.
What does that do?
Protect your eyes from the sun. At least I thought it would work. Line drive into right field from Alexander, and that's down for a hit. Bumjin Cho is in to score for Nebraska. Digging for two, Alexander safely there with a double for the Outlaws. Boy, does that have to feel good for Marcel Alexander.
And that one just got middle of the plate there and just floated in there for Alexander, and he didn't miss it, roping it down that right field line.
So Nebraska leads it 1-0. Here in the bottom of the first, brings on Xander Martinez. With two away, the pitch finds the strike zone. Your assessment on Adam Aboud, with you being a former catcher, as Aboud with the 0-1, and caught in the pickle is Marcel Alexander, stuck between third and second. Alexander digging back for second. He is out. Percy Yodel with the tag, and that retires the side as we head into the second inning. But Nebraska able to score one run. They lead it 1-0. Back after this on the Front Range League YouTube page. Landon Calabrese is set to bat for Morgan County against Xander Martinez. Danny Bach, pleasure to be joined alongside Bob Parsons as we head into the second inning. This Front Range League exhibition game. It's a warm-up for Saturday, 6:35, when the two teams go toe-to-toe again as we head down the stretch in the Front Range League season. Playoffs certainly in front for possibly these two teams. This delivery from Calabrese is sent into left center field and down for a hit as Landon Calabrese lands himself at first.
Calabrese attacking on that first pitch, and that first pitch got a lot of the plate, sending it out into that left center gap. That slow outfield grass allows Onnested, however, to get that one before it gets too far in the gap and leads to extra bases.
Now we able to see Von Dill against Martinez. Swing and a miss from Dill for strike one. Again, with the way the playoff format is installed, a week from Friday would be the start of the postseason. The game at the second seed in Front Range League play. At the moment, Morgan County is in that spot. Contact on the part of Dill that goes out of play. Runs the count to no balls and 2 strikes. And then the 1 seed would host Saturday's Game 2, and then possibly, if necessary, Game 3 on August the 2nd. Here's the 0-2 from Martinez, and Dill is hitting the head. Runners advance to first and second with nobody out.
Martinez just missing that one. That 0-2 pitch just did not break over the plate. He's trying to rush Dill inside. Instead, he hits him.
So here's Justin Bowling. Batting 8th for Morgan County against Xander Martinez. And you go back into the tale of how some of these pitchers that are up to bat have not had a chance to hit for a long time. Bowling hadn't done it since middle school. And here he has turned into a regular on the Morgan County lineup. So here's the 1-1 awaiting. The pitch inside, 2-1 the count. So the 2-1 awaits as Martinez delivers. Bowling popped it up. This near the Wrangler dugout and off the back of it. Long foul. So the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 is the count. On this Monday evening, the Outlaws having an exhibition game tomorrow. Bowling foul tip off the body of Matlock.
As well as off the body of Dupaya. We'd like to give a shout out to our umpires for the day.
Yes.
Coach Grooney out there in the field, and then Dupaya, it seems, behind the plate.
No, Dupaya in what is his last appearance. And a strikeout. Strikeout looking for Bowling. With 1 away. So runners at second and first. With Calabrese at second. This is popped up. Manuel backs up. And the catch is made for the out. So Grady Manuel able to make the catch. And that brings up the top of the order with Tariq Reese. As we head to the top lineup with Reese again. Got aboard earlier with the hit. 2 outs, 2 aboard. First pitch to Reese is fouled back.
And even though this is an exhibition game, you're still looking for those good reps. We talked about this as a base runner, getting live reads off the bat. You can't simulate a game situation as good as you can in this situation where you're playing a team that you normally play a lot. You're not even playing your own teammates, which is what you normally see out of a scrimmage.
Has there been a situation that you've ever faced that is remotely close to what we're seeing here?
We would often have scrimmages in high school or for travel ball, whether you're playing like the 18U team would play the 16U team, or you split up the roster into 3 separate teams. You have a coach throw live BP, or even sometimes even have a player that needs to throw like a simulated bullpen, basically, which is what this is going to kind of be looked at as.
The count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tariq Reese. Again, exhibition game. We're in the top of the 2nd inning. 2 aboard for Morgan County with 2 out. Nebraska have a 1-0 lead. Reese elevates in towards right center over the head of Honestad. Coming around to score is Calabrese. And Von Dill also with the side home. He is in to score. Tariq Reese with a triple to bring in 2 for Morgan County. Off a fly ball into right center. Tough play for Seth Honestad to make against the drifting wind, which brings in a pair of runs in Calabrese and Dill. So a 2-1 lead. So that brings on Mick Bross. Line drive that goes foul. With 2 away. Reese with the lead at third. The pitch. Line drive from Bross. That's down for a hit. Reese trots in to score for Morgan County. Off an RBI single from Mick Bross. So Adam Aboud finding some run support as Morgan County captures a 3-1 lead. Out comes Nick Griffin. So here is Xander Martinez. Through 1 2/3 of work, he's able to deliver a strike on Griffin. Count at 0-1 for Griffin. Right-hander's 0-1 pitch. Skied in the air to right. Alexander against the wind makes the catch. And that retires the side. But Morgan County is able to score 3 runs. They lead 3-1 midway through the 2nd inning.
By the light, I'm going away. Gone away. I'm gone away. And the sun gonna shine on a brand new day.
We return you to Gering, Nebraska. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons as we see a first pitch strike delivered to Xander Martinez from Adam Abood. Delivers again with his submarine-style pitch. Evens up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And in these at-bats in this inning, you're really going to look for these guys to try and respond, try and stay hot. In the case of your Christian McKernan hitting third this inning, it's going to be 4, 5, and 6 in this outlaw order.
As Abood's pitch heads upstairs, you talk about what Nebraska can build off of. They're able to score early in this game as opposed to what they haven't done in the last 2 regular season games. Abood delivers, line drive into left center and down for a hit. Xander Martinez is aboard of a leadoff single in the second. So Xander Martinez starts the party at the bottom of the second inning. And here is Christian McKernan as promised, as he is batting 6th in the Nebraska lineup.
And again, you get a chance to see an arm you haven't seen before that you're probably going to see later down the stretch. So just trying to get good reads, good reps against this new arm in the Front Range League.
It's always an interesting case when you have a new pitcher coming in, especially in the middle of a summer league season. But for Abood, having played at Kalinga College, knows quite a few of these players as well. Counting even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Having played with the likes of Zach Turk, who also plays at Kalinga. Tommy Quintana, not to mention, as that's a strike delivered. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Christian McKernan. An exhibition game, 7 innings from Gering. Nebraska batting with 13 batters in their lineup, which includes a handful of pitchers. The 2-2 misses outside, throw by Dill. And safely there is Xander Martinez. Nobody out still for Nebraska.
We'll also add that Chase Taylor has taken over at first base for Calabrese. Unsure if that's going to be both defensive and offensive, but as of right now it is a defensive switch for TC Fairfield.
Grounder up the middle. Roller that is snared by Bross. Not quite. He missed the ball. So aboard is Christian McKernan after the fielding error from Mick Bross.
That's something that we're curious about coming into this game. How well is Abood going to field his position? That one right there, you typically see a pitcher being able to field that ground ball that's hit back to him. But with that unconventional windup, it puts him in a bit of an awkward position right after his windup, so unable to field that ground ball.
So that brings up Kingston Lee. What are some of the caveats of the submarine style for Abood? This rolls in the dirt towards Dill for ball 1.
We talked about the loss of velo, sometimes hard to control. Especially we saw it against the lefty Alexander. That pitch just hung over the middle of the plate. So lefties are going to see that submarine really well as opposed to those righties.
Speaking of Abood earlier today, he mentioned that he always has a tough time with lefties. Did you like having lefty batters next to you while you were catching?
It doesn't really matter unless there's runners on base. It makes a pickoff to third a little bit harder. It makes a pickoff to first, a little bit harder. Makes a throw over to third a lot easier. And generally speaking, you never want to steal third base with a lefty up to bat because that catcher can just shift his entire weight over to a shorter throw over to third as opposed to second.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 aboard for Nebraska with nobody out. As Adam Abood looks to go to work against Kingston Lee with the 2-2 pitch that sails wide, caught by Dill brilliantly. Able to keep Xander Martinez stationary at second. That is a lot tougher than what it looks for Von Dill catching for Morgan County. So here's the payoff. That rolls into the dirt, and the bases are loaded. So here comes Brock Berry.
We've seen him have success at the plate, whether it was that scrimmage we played at the practice, he hit really well, or even later in the week in Fort Morgan. I believe it was actually later that day in Fort Morgan, Barry had a hit or two.
As he looks to make an impact against the newest pitcher in the Front Range League, and instead it's Abboud with the first pitch strike. Called for strike one. When asked about people that made biggest of impacts, swing and a miss from Barry. Count 0-2. Adam Abboud, he said his parents, biggest figures into his baseball journey. Father Richie, Mother Angel. Special greetings to them out in California. The 0-2. Elevated in the air to shallow right. A long run for bowling that goes foul. So the count remains at 0-2. But it's been quite the journey for Adam Abboud. His favorite candy? Skittles. The 0-2, grounded out of play by Barry again. Did you have a candy of choice when you played?
I'm normally more of like a sour gummy guy. The Sour Patch Kids watermelon was always a good go-to.
Just like Adam.
Just trying to keep energy up as much as possible, especially on those long tournament days.
Sour Patch Kids, a watermelon flavor. That also is Adam's favorite. You two have good choices, it seems. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brock Berry. Submarine delivery leads to a strikeout of Brock Berry. Berry strikes out swinging for the first out of the inning. Brings on the catcher and Grayson Matlock. And here's that battle that we mentioned. The submarine style against a left-hander. If you are a submarine pitcher, what do you do in this instance with the bases loaded with 1 out?
You really want to try and live on that outer half of the plate. You don't want to miss something middle, because to the lefties, you're not going to have that advantage of the ball that's looking like it's going to hit them, and then it darts into the zone. The ball is going to be away into the zone. You're moving into their barrel.
Here's the 0-1 to Matlock. Martinez at third, McKernan at second, Lee at first. And there he is looking to paint that outside corner. However, he missed. 1 ball and 1 strike.
If you're these next 2 hitters, typical guys in this Outlaw lineup, I really want to see them have better approaches with runners in scoring position, since that's been something they have been struggling with recently.
An overarching theme had hurt Nebraska in their 2 games over the weekend on what was the worst weekend in team history, you could say. Being beaten soundly. This is a fly ball into center field. 1 run at least you would think would score. Griffin makes the catch, throw home towards the plate. Dill lost the ball. And scoring on the play is Xander Martinez. So a sac fly to bring in Martinez from Matlock. And Nebraska scores again in back-to-back innings. It's a 3-2 game.
I really like that there from Matlock. A good selfless approach. Just trying to find a pitch to elevate. He's able to find one, send one out to center field. Griffin making an incredible throw, just still unable to hold on to it.
With Griffin making the catch out in center field. Thrown almost led to the out. Here's Isaiah Murillo, as you mentioned there, Bob. One of the regulars in the lineup for Nebraska. But it was one of the keys that was emphasized. Late batters in the order, making impacts in Outlaw games. Certainly Murillo looks to do the same down the stretch the rest of the way this season.
He's the guy at the bottom of the order that's able to create damage at times, just finding a way to set the table for the top of the order. He's got the table set here for himself. He's got to find a way to drive them in.
And he takes a swing, 1 ball and 2 strikes, with Christian McKernan at third, Kingston Lee at second base, with 2 outs in the bottom half of the second. Here's Adam Aboud. He steps off the mound. We have time called. With a 1-2 pitch awaiting from Aboud. This is fouled out of play. Each team with 4 hits in the game up to this point. Inching our way towards the end of the second. Adam Aboud hopes that all Morgan County relinquishes is the 1 run. However, there's base runners on third and second. The pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aboud. He is a big Washington Commanders fan. And this pitch misses. That runs the count full. Big fan of the Commanders, Seattle Kraken of the National Hockey League. But he certainly enjoys his time on the diamond, where he has reinvigorated his playing as he looks to continue his efforts. He's set to play collegiately in the great state of Kansas. Not too far away from here. Payoff pitch awaiting for Isaiah Murillo. And our runners at third and second for Nebraska. 2 outs upstairs, and the bases are loaded yet again. Here comes Seth Onestad. So now this is the situation you dream about if you're Nebraska, of what to work on. Runners in scoring position with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and a chance to convert perhaps for the Outlaws.
Just trying to put together a good selfless at-bat here if you're Onestad. Trying to find a way to pass the stick to the next guy. If you're able to reach it all, there will be a run scored.
With Christian McKernan lurking at third. This is rolled into the dirt for ball 1.
And if you're a Aboud, you want to try and work on limiting those free passes. We've seen 3 already where that's really going to help this Outlaws lineup that's really been struggling right now.
However, it's Onestad who's ahead in the count, 2-0. So, 2-0 count. Impending for Seth Onestad. McKernan at third, Kingston Lee at second base, Isaiah Murillo at first. Here's the 2-0 pitch awaiting from Aboud. Swing and a miss from Onestad. Two balls and 1 strike. Few raindrops starting to make its way. Aboud's pitch. This is elevating the air to right. Balling is able to make the catch, and that retires the side. Nebraska leaves them stranded, but they do score a run, with Morgan County leading 3-2. Back after this on Hometown Radio, KFTM.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Never the same.
The 0-1. Grounder from Hoshi Yusei. Basie backs up from short and throws to first for the out. 2 pitches, 1 out. For Nebraska in Xander Martinez. So here's Percy Odell. So again with the schedule ahead, a game on Tuesday for Nebraska, and then another on Thursday. Across the plate from Martinez for a strike.
This is the most length we've seen out of Martinez, which, like you said, with all these games coming up, especially for the Outlaws, are going to be really important to get length today out of Martinez and just to see what he looks like in a little bit more of a stretched out role.
Odell takes his swing, comes up empty, 0-2 the count. Man, we're going to be excited to see you tomorrow on the mound for the Outlaws. Additionally, this is fouled back by Percy Odell. Count remains at 0-2 with 1 out for the Brush, Colorado native. Martinez about to be pitch number 39. That's fouled away. With the count at 0-2 for Percy Odell. Martinez retrieves this side. Here is the 0-2 pitch awaiting for Percy Odell. This is a line drive into center field and down for a hit. Percy Odell is aboard for Morgan County. So Odell at first brings on Landon Calabrese.
Just a little bit too much of the zone there on that 0-2 pitch, which is what allows Percy Odell to line that pitch into center field. You generally want to see nibbling a little bit more on the zone, trying to attack away, trying to elicit a swing and a miss there, especially in an 0-2 count.
So the aforementioned Landon Calabrese, who had a hard hit into left center. And part of what was a 3-run second inning for Morgan County. Another line drive, another hit into left. Calabrese is aboard at first as he has a 2-hit game. So Landon Calabrese started to find his bat. With one away, brings on Von Dill. Again with Xander Martinez seeing action on the mound. This being an exhibition game. This misses wide. This was on the verge of being dubbed a battle for first place in the league until there's late change, the game being deemed an exhibition. This pitch is called for a strike on Von Dill. 1-1. With Perciolo with the lead at second base. Grounder from Dill past the foot of Martinez. Here's the throw by Basie for the out of Dill. And that retires the side. 3-2 our score. Back after this on the Front Range League Network.
The game. Chuck needs a smile. Looks like we have a winner. Stephanie is winning this gift bag sponsored by Gering Family Dental. Back to you, Bill.
All right.
Adam Abood remains on the mound for Morgan County. As we take in the action, again making his broadcast or his debut on the mound for Morgan County. What's your impression on his performance so far?
I liked what I've seen so far. Just wanting to try and limit those free passes is my biggest thing. We've seen him kind of struggle to field the position as well, but there's not much you can do about that, especially being a very true submarine pitcher. He's just landing really far off to the right side of that mound, which makes it tough to try and field that position.
So here's Grady Manuel. Yeah, you can pay attention to Bood's movement on the mound. See how quickly he's able to reset from that stance as he dishes ball one.
And this will be big right here because this is a typical guys that are in that everyday lineup for these Outlaws, especially it looks like a prototypical 8-9-1 here in this inning. And I'd like to see Turk and Manuel here at the bottom of this order try and set the table for the top.
2-0 the count. And with the top of the order, as this is a 13-man lineup for Nebraska. This misses. 3-0 the count on Grady Manuel. with Kalinga teammates on deck, with Zach Turk awaiting in the wings. And a 4-pitch walk puts Grady Manuel aboard for Nebraska in a 3-2 contest. So here comes Zach Turk. Kalinga teammate Adam Aboud. How strange is it to go up against fellow teammate Summer League play?
It'll definitely crank it up a notch a little bit for sure. Whenever you see those teammate guys, it's always very happy and cordial pregame, dapping each other up. And then once you get between the lines, it's obviously a competition, and there's nobody you want to best more than a teammate you can talk trash to the entire full college season.
And Aboud on the first pitch delivers one inside. Yeah, bragging rights certainly at hand between these two. Count at 1-0 with Grady Manuel having our walk to first. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss from Turk for strike one. Now these battles are what the Front Range League is all about, earning reps in the summer. Count at 1-1 strike for Zach Turk. Submarine pitch from Aboud. Misses low for ball 2. Nebraska with 4 hits in the game. Each team been taxed with an error additionally in the game. 2-1 to Zach Turk. So here is Aboud. He throws to first. Manuel steps on the bag at first base. With the count at 2-1 strike. As Aboud checks the sign. Here's the 2-1 pitch that misses wide and outside. 3-1 the count.
And again, trying to be good with location here for Aboud. That's something in the Front Range League that if you're going to struggle with, you're going to struggle. If you're in the zone in this Front Range League, we've seen a lot of people have success so far.
Have to imagine he goes for that zone. He does with a strike. Throw over to first, and safe again is Manuel. But a good pitch from Adam Aboud. Able to catch Turk swinging, runs the count full. What else would you expect? Between a pair of Kalinga teammates. As the standoff continues with the payoff pitch awaiting with nobody out. In the bottom half of the third, and a 3-2 lead for Morgan County. Here's the payoff pitch on the way that misses, and Turk walks. Puts Grady Manuel at second base.
We've seen the Outlaws struggle with this so far. Struggling to especially walk guys. Free passes at the bottom of the order. We saw them struggle with that, and that's how you end up in those games where you're giving up a lot of runs because you're automatically setting the top of the order for the other team for them. You're not forcing those guys at the bottom of the order to swing the bat, find outfield grass, get on base for themselves.
How far away is Nebraska from being in that contending spot again as we see Braden Basie foul the first pitch back?
They're still currently the first place team in this league, so as long as they're able to turn it around and start clicking again offensively, we've seen them do it in spurts. They're a very streaky team at times, so if they come out on Thursday against the Pioneers, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run rule that team, or even the Wranglers the next time they see them. So it's just trying to click and get hot at the right time, and they still have time to do that.
That's the benefit of having, say, your clunker games down this stretch of the season. And come playoff time, that's when that notch turns up to the highest degree. This is elevated by Basie and down for a hit. Manuel coming around from third. He's looking to score. Throw from Griffin, not in time, and the game is tied. As Braden Basie is able to tie up the game, an opportune double for Nebraska. So Manuel scores, brings on Tommy Quintana. And Quintana 0 for 1 against his pitching teammate in college, Colinga. First pitch misses up high for ball 1. And again, for Adam Aboud, he's in very similar juncture with 2 runners aboard. This delivery misses for ball 2. So Zach Turk is at second base. Braden Basie at first. The count at 2-0. As Aboud readies, his 68th pitch of the night is a strike. So here's Aboud again. This is a ground ball from Quintana, played by Calabrese. Throw from Bross leads to a double play. So the double play, however, does put Turk over at third. So Basie recorded out at second. Turk at third. Brings on Bumjin Cho, who came around to score in the first inning, as he was able to celebrate. Second at bat for Cho sees a first pitch strike. With 2 outs, Zach Turk at third in a 3-3 tie. The pitch, grounded fouled by Cho. Aboud ahead in the count, 0-2, with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the third, the 7-inning game. Aboud obliges on the sign with his catching partner in Von Dill. The pitch, grounder from Cho right to Aboud. He strolls over to first for the out at first base thanks to Chase Taylor, and that retires the side. And for Nebraska, they do score 1 run. The game knotted up even after 3. We head to the 4th after this. Justin Bowling leads off to start the top half of the fourth for Morgan County as he faces Xander Martinez again. You talk about being well relaxed and composed on the mound. Martinez has been that. He's quickly ahead in the count 0-2 on Justin Bowling. So a lot to like in that regard. Here's the 0-2. Bowling with contact into left center field, making the run. Onestad able to make the catch for the out. You've fielded a couple times in your past. How tough is it to track a fly ball?
I can't track a fly ball to save my life. That's why I was a catcher, because that's about where you field the least amount of fly balls. You only normally get the shooters right above your head. And even then, oftentimes the third baseman or the first baseman will come in and try and field that for you.
Swing taken for a strike. On Pendergast, seeing action. Count at 0-1 for the assistant coach for Morgan County. This, albeit in an exhibition game. Grounded foul. The count at 0-2, awaiting. So here's the 0-2. The delivery, contact in the air to center, and caught by Onestad again. He has been busy.
We were wondering what we were going to see out of the range of Onestad. I've really liked what I've seen so far in this inning. He's moving in on that one, moving to his right on that last fly ball, showing really good effort out there in center field.
Great effort in that regard. So here comes Tariq Reese as he steps in to face Martinez. This is fouled away. Count at 0-1 to Reese. Nobody bored with 2 outs. The pitch, grounded foul. So here's Tariq Reese. Count at 0-2. Martinez quickly working through the lineup for Morgan County. Only 8 pitches in the inning and already with 2 outs. Hopes of a clean inning at this juncture. Here's the 0-2 coming for Reese. And a strikeout called by the umpire Noah Dupaya to retire the side. 3-3 deadlock midway through the fourth. We'll return you to Gering, Nebraska after this on Hometown Radio KFTM and on the Front Range League Network. We return you to Oregon Trail Park in Gering, Nebraska. New pitcher for Morgan County and Silas Bauke. It gives us a chance to look at Adam Abood in his outing. 3 innings pitched, 72 pitches, allowing 4 hits with 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. And the debut for Adam Abood. What stands out as far as his outing and his first action in the Front Range?
5 walks. 5 walks through 3 innings. That's just too many walks that you want to see out of a pitcher, especially a guy that when he did miss over the heart of the plate, those lefties especially did not miss it. One of those guys coming up to the plate, and Alexander, who's not even a typical lefty, so you got to wonder, when you do have Matlock, Maloney in that lineup, what is that going to look like? Saw other guys, even righties, have success in it with him when he was in the zone. So that's just a worry for me going forward.
And Marcel Alexander, who did have a hit for Nebraska in his lone at bat. Again, this is an exhibition game. Bauke sees Alexander sky one into right center and down for a hit. Marcel Alexander is aboard with a leadoff single for Nebraska. Brings on Xander Martinez for the Outlaws. And a busy week for either team to some extent, particularly for Nebraska. Morgan County's week busies itself for the weekend as they host back-to-back games. First on Friday against Western Nebraska, then on Saturday against these Outlaws. All this in this exhibition, a 3-3 tie with Alexander at first. Bauke's delivery misses for ball 1. And then the final stretch of the season, starting next Monday. Morgan County in action every single day, all the way to the last day of the regular season. That following Thursday, and then the playoffs start on a Friday. Bauke with a fastball that forces Martinez to dodge. Runs the count to 2-0.
If you're Bauke, it's the same approach. Do not want to walk too many people. Just want to try and work on some stuff. Think of this as a very heavily simulated bullpen.
2-1 count on the way for Xander Martinez. With the pitch into the dirt. Dill doesn't know where it is. It's right in front of him. 3-1 the count. What was your most embarrassing moment as a catcher?
Having games where pitches get by you and runs score is always a bad one. Even if it even is a ball in the dirt, that's definitely something, or making a crucial error at the end of the game. Those will always hurt.
Line drive into left and down for a hit. Xander Martinez able to put himself aboard with a line drive single into deep left. So runners on first and second. As far as Nebraska is concerned, still a 3-3 game. Bauke delivers. That misses for ball 1. Alexander, the lead runner at second base. Martinez over at first. Here's the 1-0 to Christian McKernan as he fans on the pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
These reps are going to be really important for these Outlaws hitters as well as Bauke. You're facing guys that you're going to be facing here possibly in the playoffs.
Elevated, shallow, and not even leaving the infield. Pendergast is able to make the catch for the out. So with that out, 1 away, brings on Kingston Lee. With 1 away, the first pitch to Lee misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. We have 2 runners aboard. Fastball across the plate. Misses for ball 2. On this Monday night, ground ball from Lee, played by Balke, and a throw to Odell for the out at third of Alexander. 1 down. Great awareness from Silas Balke. Able to force out Alexander. So here's Brock Berry. This is popped up. This is playable. Calabrese throws his hat and... Did he make the catch? No. So a long foul for Berry. Count at 0-1. 3-3 tie. Here in the bottom half of the 4th. Here's Silas Balke. Missed for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 away. With Martinez at second base. The pitch, line drive that is down for a hit. And the throw from Yusei ends up loading the bases. So the base is loaded for Silas Balke with 2 outs. Wranglers to have quite the rest period. Day off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the final stretch of the season sees 6 games in 7 days. Balke delivers into the dirt on Vaughn Dill for ball 1. Want to know the count. Balke again. This is grounded foul. With Grayson Matlock at the plate, batting 9th. So the 1-1 awaits. The base is loaded with 2 outs. This is a grounder. That is played by Odell. Throw over to first. Calabrese is there, and that retires the side as Nebraska leaves them stranded as we make our way headed to the 5th inning with our score. Morgan County 3, Nebraska 3.
Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. 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 Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe. Yeah, that's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. I did it all. I played pretend.
Top of the 5th inning, Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons from Oregon Trail Park in Gering, Nebraska. And we spoke pregame. Nebraska Outlaws head coach Zach McCoy, and he lauded over how great the rivalry is between these two sides and how competitive these two teams have played each other throughout the course of the regular season, the Front Range League. So an interesting dynamic with seeing the two teams playing in an exhibition game. Again, with Noah Dupaya serving as the plate umpire tonight. Popped up by Mick Bross. This is playable. Xander Martinez defers to Grayson Matlock and makes the catch for the out. Boy, you can't get any easier than that. One pitch, one out for Xander Martinez.
I really like what I've seen out of Martinez. We haven't seen him necessarily in this stretched out role as a pitcher, but he has looked efficient and he's starting to get into that cruise control or starting to look a little bit more comfortable than he has.
He's on his way to having a quality start, perhaps. Who would have expected that on a day like today? The pitch. Nick Griffin leads to a strike. 3-3 game. Morgan County scored all of their runs in the second inning. Similar tone to what we saw on Saturday in the regular season affair. Griffin's guys went fouled. Morgan County scored a majority of their runs in the scored 11 runs in that game. That broke the game open. Eventually was a 12-2 victory in 6 innings via the run roll. Here's the 0-2. This is a ground ball. Third baseman Kingston Lee with a throw over to first for the retirement of Nick Griffin. Brings 2 away. So here is Hoshi Yusei. Yet to record a hit in this game. But thankfully for his case, this only being an exhibition, games do not have consequence in the standings. All meant for reps. Strike 1 taken off the pitch from Xander Martinez. This would be pitch number 59 on the evening. And Hoshi Yusei took a swing. 0-2. Oh, 2 count for Hoshi Yusei. As Martinez readies. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Hoshi Yusei. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And that retires the side again. Another clean inning for Xander Martinez. He's loving it in this exhibition game. Midway through the 5th. Back after this on the Front Range League Network. Welcome back to Oregon Trail Park. 3-3 game. Before we continue, let's pause for our stations to identify themselves on the Front Range League Network. New pitcher for Morgan County. Madden Aguilar returns to the mound, and we've seen quite a bit of Aguilar in recent weeks since his arrival. Again, from California. What stands out as far as Madden Aguilar's pitching arsenal is concerned?
He's looked really good when we've seen him, especially against these Outlaws. We saw him the other day in that game against the Outlaws in that big win for the Wranglers. Have a lot of success. He just needs to be in the zone, trying to avoid barrels. Pretty much what every pitcher's goal should try to be in this Front Range League. Try and live in the zone, but not live in the zone too much.
And tiptoeing that line, Aguilar is set to face the 10th, 11th, and 12th batters of the lineup. Not often you get to say that, but that proves to be the case in an exhibition game with an array of substitutions all throughout. As we see plenty of changes throughout the lineup with Chase Taylor, who was at second base, now is again replaced by Tariq Reese, who originally was at second to begin the game. And Percy Odell does remain at third. Justin Balling handling the catching duties for Morgan County. Certainly wouldn't see that effect in a regular season game. And the final stretch to the postseason awaits, as we see that of 2 more games left between the Outlaws and the Pioneers. Game on Thursday and then again on Sunday before the season heads its way towards the finish line. First pitch to Isaiah Murillo's on a slow ground ball that eventually goes foul. Remember that Seattle Mariners clip from the Kingdome days where there was a ground ball that went down the third base line? They tried to blow the ball off the path.
I do know of that clip, and these lines can be odd at times, especially being dirt. As a catcher, we were always told to try and see how the ball was going to roll down the line, especially on this dirt field, because sometimes you'll have a little bit of a lip, so the ball will roll up and then roll down. So that's good to know, especially on those swinging bunts like we just saw.
What's your approach when you see a batter going to bunt?
Really want to emphasize catching the ball and knowing where you're going to go with the baseball. As a catcher, they always emphasize throwing behind the lead runner on whenever they would miss a bunt. So say there's runners on first and second, you want to throw behind that runner at second to try and catch them leaning, especially on a bunt.
Isaiah Murillo strikes out on 3 pitches. So 1 away brings on Seth Onestad. And with Justin Balling handling the catching. Boy, you get quite the experience in the Front Range League, especially on days to this effect. So much so that you even see a Bob Parsons pitching tomorrow. Who would have imagined that? Again, see if he goes scoreless. First pitch to Seth Onestad is a pop-up that heads into the seats and out of play. What was it, 2 clean innings on your part?
They weren't necessarily clean innings, but they were 2 scoreless innings. No walks. Did give up a couple hard hit balls for sure. Got lucky. My defense for the Pioneers had my back and was able to get 2 scoreless innings.
The 0-1 awaiting. What was it like to be in the dugout again?
I've been in the dugout off and on, especially on off days, trying to help out those Pioneers that can sometimes be short-staffed. So whether that's catching bullpens for them, just doing favors for them in the dugout, trying to keep that energy up. I've been over there a couple times now, so it's always a good time.
1-1 as Onestad takes a swinging strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 Onestad. Nobody aboard with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th of a 7-inning game. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. A grounder from Onestad. Reese makes the run and that ball dies. And Onestad is safe. That ball literally became lifeless in the infield. That is the slowest single you may ever see.
This infield grass and outfield grass both can play really slow. So these Wranglers have a little bit less experience with it.
Did you have a fast 40 time? First pitch to Grady Manuel misses for ball 1.
Generally, for baseball, they do 60 times because that's the length of home to second base. And no, by any means was I not fleet of foot.
Well, that's a catcher for you. 1-0 from Matt Aguilar to Grady Manuel with Onestad at first, and decked near the rib cage was Manuel. So Onestad heads to second. That's a case where you see a pitch coming. What's your mindset when you see a pitch that's close to you? Do you take the pain, or what's your headspace through that?
I always wore a lot of pitches. I sat right on the line to the of the batter's box, so I wore a lot of pitches. It's just a way to get on base. It's especially as a catcher, they typically put you down in the batting order, just trying to set the table for the top of the order, trying to put together a productive at bat for the team, find a way on base safely. I was never afraid to get by a pitch, so if a pitcher was gonna leave an off speed a little bit too far in, I was never one to shy away from letting that one just land on my elbow.
Manuel able to wear it. Board at first. Seth Onestad at second base. Count evens up on Zach Turk as he walked. When he got to face Adam Aboud, his Kalinga teammate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zach Turk. Strike 2 called. The home plate umpire, Noah Dupai, and stealing third is Seth Onestad with ease. That's what happens when you don't have a natural catcher behind the plate.
I'm a little surprised that we didn't see Manuel over at first try and take off behind him.
There's the 1-2 awaiting. It's a pop-up from Turk into foul territory and out of play. And then, just as you said that, we saw Manuel taking his lead at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Zach Turk. The bottom half of the 5th, and a 3-3 tie in this 7-inning exhibition. Here's Aguilar set to deliver. The 1-2 pitch awaits. That misses. Ball 2.
And again, this bottom of the order, trying to put together productive at-bats. We've seen them do that. They did that last time through the order. Because this bottom of the order is going to need to do that, especially in these games trying to make a playoff push.
2 balls and 2 strikes with runners on the corners for Nebraska. With aims of a quality at bat, runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second. Strolling in is Manuel with the stolen base. But the strikeout of Turk brings on Braden Basie. And what has been the constant theme that we've talked about over the past few days? Runners in scoring position. Here's Braden Basie. He has done it so many times. What a great chance for him at this juncture.
You want to try and pull ahead here and try and make it so that they don't have to play that bottom half of the seventh inning. You want to try and play from ahead, not from behind. And even in a tie game, you want to try and get that momentum to swing your way, especially.
In a 3-3 tie, runners at third and second. The throw gets away. Coming to the plate is Honest and he is out. What a play by Justin Bowling. Matt Aguilar trots over to home plate, and that retires the side. We are tied 3 apiece heading into the 6th.
All right, fans, turn your attention down to the field where Chuck and Myra are with the contestants to play today's Sterling Huff Law matrimony game.
All right. These two are not married, but they are roommates. And what are you blushing about? Oh, get over here, young lady. Since we're a little short on married couples tonight, we figure we get Mallory and Natalia out here. They've done a great job for us all summer, running the show with social media. And, please give them a hand. They've sacrificed their summer to get us this far in the season. All right. We're going to ask Mallory 2 questions about Natalia. And I was going to ask something. I was briefed on what to ask. Okay. Your first. Now, if they get 1 right, you don't get fired. If you get 2 right, you don't get fired. If you get no right, can't promise anything. So, first question, what brand of shampoo does Natalia use? Let's use, oh, you do know it? She knows. Okay, well, let's get an answer. Take all the time you need. Literally nothing else to do. Wow. Or you could just show the answer and then we'd get it right. Go ahead.
She used Redken and then she ran out, so she got Pantene.
Wow, see, all right. And then I forgot the other one. So I'm going to ask a simple one. Let's get Natalia's shoe size. And you know it? Look at this, 2 for 2. You get to keep your job for another day. All right, Natalia's shoe size is?
11.
Holy guacamole, 11, wow.
I just have to say that I'm the best roommate ever. And she would not know the answers if it was flipped the other way around.
There you go. All right, I think we should get back to the game now. Hey, Bill, back to you. Again, give these guys a hand. They do a great job, and we're wrapping up the season. They're going to head home pretty soon, so give them a hand. Bill, again, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chuck. And
sing
Myra,
the happy
and
birthday
great job
song. Braden Basie steps onto the mound for Nebraska as he celebrates another trip around the sun. But that gives us an opportunity to take a look at the pitching night for Xander Martinez. 5 innings pitched with a pitch count of 60 with 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. And that is the story with 3 runs earned. Xander Martinez, an impressive showing through 5 innings.
And just being able to eat innings was so huge for this Outlaw team on a busy week. See if Braden Basie can do the same.
As there are a few adjustments. Bumjin Cho is playing third. Remember, this purely an exhibition game. So this game, the way night began, was dubbed as a battle for first place in the Front Range League until a few adjustments were made as far as the officiating staff was concerned. So we see that of Noah Dupaya in his final appearance, any Front Range League activity, serving as home plate umpire. And he's had to make a few calls, including play at the plate last inning. Get a little bit of everything in this league, as this is a called strike 1 on Percy Odell. It's the top half of the 6th in a 3-3 tie. Morgan County having scored all their runs in the top half of the 2nd inning. As the count evens up, 1 ball and 1 strike on Percy Odell from Braden Basie. What should we expect from Basie?
We've seen him have a good arm. He's played the outfield a decent amount, especially in right field for these Outlaws.
As he takes strike 2 on Percy
And if you're these Wranglers batters, you're still trying to put up good at-bats, trying to have a good approach, and trying to work to that approach.
with the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Basie. Check swing. He did go. A strikeout for Braden Basie. So a punch out for Braden Basie to begin the 6th. That brings on Landon Calabrese.
And you're trying to work quick here. You want to try and give your offense a chance to get that lead and then come back out in the top of the 7th and hopefully take home a win here, even in an exhibition game that can be big, especially after those 2 rough losses.
Basie dirts the first pitch to Calabrese. As we're in the top half of the 6th. 1 away, nobody aboard for Landon Calabrese. As he takes a swing, no one won the count. Minder Calabrese is 2 for 2 on the night, with 2 deep base hits during each at bat. This time, he takes strike 2, swinging. 1-2 the count on Landon Calabrese. Contending against Braden Basie. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's Basie. He readies. And time is called by Calabrese. So again, the 1-2 pitch awaits. Here's the stretch, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's fouled out of play. Landon Calabrese, quite the confidence boost in exhibition, and that's a lot of what you can gain in an instance like this. Nebraska batting with 11 in their order. The 1-2 pitch misses for ball 2. As the sun begins to set in Gering. 2-2 to Landon Calabrese. Basie delivers. This fouled out of play as Calabrese stays alive yet again.
If you're Basie here, you really want to limit those walks. We haven't seen him do that yet, but that's got to be a goal for yourself here, especially in an exhibition game as a position player. You want to try and live in the zone as much as possible.
The 2-2 awaits for Landon Calabrese. Basie with contact from Calabrese. And this is juggled at short, throw to first. Not in time. Landon Calabrese is aboard. And that is charged as an error. With Grady Manuel juggling the ground ball. So Calabrese aboard all 3 times tonight for Morgan County. And trying to steal is Calabrese, and he is tagged out.
Trying to get a little too aggressive with that position player on the mound. Basie's able to step off calmly, avoid a balk, and get that base runner off the base path.
And that was Brock Berry with the tag out. So there's 2 away. First pitch to Pendergast misses for ball 1. Want to know the count. So here's Braden Basie again. The pitch to the left-hander misses for ball 2. And with the top of the 6 awaiting, and we'll see what Nebraska is able to do. They scored in the first 3 innings and haven't touched home plate since. At 2-0. Waits for Pendergast. He takes a swing. 2-1 the count. And Basie has done well at staying within the zone, like you mentioned. So here's the 2-1. This is fouled back out of play. Two balls and 2 strikes. And again, these two teams to meet again next Saturday from Fort Morgan. 6:35 start time. Wranglers will be on the back end of a back-to-back. Here's the 2-2. That sails up high, and the count runs full. As the payoff awaits, with 2 away. The pitch from Basie, that leads to a walk. Or is it? No, it's a strikeout. It is a strikeout. Or is it? No, it's a walk. Pendergast took a swing well after the pitch from Basie, so it is a walk. So Pendergast is over at first. Here is Chase Taylor. Welcome to the exhibition as Taylor takes a swing, throw over to first, not in time. Have to think with the approach from Taylor. He is going for broke, maybe.
Swing hard in case you hit it.
Not that time. Strike 2 taken. 0-2 the count. So here is Braden Basie with the 0-2 to Chase Taylor. On the ground and played by Basie. Toss over to first, and that retires the side. We make our way to the bottom of the 6th. Dead even, 3 apiece. As Nebraska looks to dip into the scoring well as they look to wrap things up in 7. We'll see after this.
Last time we talked, you had nothing to say. You chose to walk, give what we had away. I hope you get what you're looking for. But babe, with me, you close the door on everything we could have been. Don't go thinking we could be friends. No, you can't bring us back from the dead. 'Cause when you know, you know. And when you don't, when it ends, it ends. When it ends, it ends. I really thought we might have been it so
Bottom of the 6th inning. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons. It's a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 6th. And this 7-inning game, as we see a new pitcher for Morgan County in that of Von Dill. First pitch is skied foul.
We've seen catchers in this league have success at pitching, one of whom, Grayson Matlock. Another one in Ray Zamaripa as well. Curious to see what Dill can do here for the Wranglers.
Dill having made an arrival 2 weeks ago. This misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Braden Basie. Recorded a hit earlier in the game. Here's the 1-1. And Dill misses. 2 balls and 1 strike to Braden Basie. Again, Nebraska in action tomorrow. This pitch misses on the part of Dill. 3-1 the count to Braden Basie. Dill with the delivery. And that leads to a 5-pitch walk. Brings on Tommy Quintana. Again, Front Range League action this week. Nebraska playing against the Colorado Tribe tomorrow. And if you want more of the Tribe, they play again on Wednesday against Western Nebraska. And then Western Nebraska and Nebraska locking horns on Thursday. Regular season game. This pitch inside from Dill. 2-0 the count. Bobby, you and Lucas Macklin have the call on Thursday. So head down the stretch for the postseason.
Pioneers have been playing good baseball as of late. Hoping to continue that and try and make a playoff push here.
And this is fouled out of play by Tommy Quintana. Boy, they have been on a tear, and you look at what they did this past weekend. Sweeping both teams in the league. And doing so in shutout fashion. Quintana took a swing. It runs the count full. Here's the payoff pitch to Quintana. That missed. Runners on second and first. With nobody out, brings on Bumjin Cho. As we remain deadlocked at 3 apiece. So Braden Basie at second base. Tommy Quintana at first. With Von Dill pitching. Catcher in Justin Bowling. And Bumjin Cho fouls the first pitch that he sees. As that scales out of play. 0-1 the count on Bumjin Cho. A lot of great people that make all of this possible. The staff here in Gering, and same can be said in Fort Morgan. Great people that are in charge. And make it a possibility to take in the game we love. A ground ball that gets through on the part of Cho. Bumjin Cho has a 2-hit night. The throw home. Bowling throws to second base, and caught on the play is Cho. Now a rundown with Quintana at third, and 2 tag-outs. What do we have here? At least somebody is out. Cho has made his way to second. So Basie is staying put at third. So in the end, so Quintana is out. Basie at third. Now Basie's looking to steal in correspondence. And is this a balk? And Nebraska has scored. They have taken the lead 4-3. Wow. So Nebraska has taken the lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th, and the throw gets away from Pauling, and staying put is Cho. Off a wild pitch, so you have a balk, followed up by near real disaster as far as that's concerned for Morgan County, with the deficit at 1. Marcel Alexander is the batter. Takes one upstairs for ball 2. With one away, with Cho. Boy, what an impressive night for Bumjin Cho batting. Swinging the miss from Alexander.
Almost even more impressive night for Marcel Alexander here.
He also has a pair of hits. This time he takes ball 3. And you never know what to expect in this league, and the pitchers with a chance to bat in this game. And boy, have they delivered tonight for Nebraska. Fastball taken for a strike. Full count. Bumjin Cho at third. Dill delivers. Popped up by Alexander. And this towards the infield, the catch is made for out number 2. So 2 away. And that leads to TC Fairfield with a new pitcher coming in for Morgan County. Gives us a chance to be back with you for the bottom half of the 6th right after this. Oh my.
End of the road, nowhere to go. You cut the ties, you burn the road. So don't let me see your name lighting on my phone when it was you who let go of everything we could have been. Is it sinking in all your regret? No, you can't bring us back from the dead. 'Cause when you know, and when you don't, when it ends, it ends. When it ends, it ends. I don't need room to guess. When it ends, it ends. When it ends, it ends.
From the first moment I saw you, I knew I had to make you mine. Wanted to know everything about you. I didn't want to waste no time. What's something I can do for you, darling? That would make you smile. I'll bring you flowers, girl. Enough to see for miles. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow. But I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow. But I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. I love your style, and I love your grace.
New pitcher for Morgan County, a familiar figure. TC Fairfield is on the mound for the Wranglers. And Danny Buck joined alongside Bob Parsons. What should we expect from TC Fairfield? He has had several, well, he is primarily a pitching coach per se, so he certainly has the arsenal, and the main level of concern being the liveliness of the arms for Morgan County. Fairfield coming in relief. What does that bring about in an interesting juncture with Bumjin Cho at third?
It's a big spot for him here with 2 outs. And it's Zach McCoy versus T.C. Fairfield.
Oh my goodness. A battle of the managers. McCoy takes the first pitch swinging for strike 1, and he loves it.
And you got to imagine there might be some words being exchanged between the two of them right now. They haven't necessarily been the friendliest to each other.
The 0-1 to Zach McCoy. And that throw got away. And coming in to score is Bumjin Cho. It's a 5-3 game. How about that? So McCoy sees Cho brought in off the wild pitch. And it's a 5-3 game. 1-1 remains the count. Pitch inside, 2-1. Only in an exhibition game. Fairfield delivers inside on McCoy. 3-1 the count.
Gotta imagine this can't end in a walk. There will be a swing on this next pitch regardless of where it is at.
The 3-1. No. A walk of McCoy.
I thought for sure he was going to try and take that to 3-2, but instead McCoy just takes the walk.
So McCoy walks in that instance. So that brings on Xander Martinez. He takes first pitch inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Nebraska with a 5-3 lead on Morgan County in an exhibition game. Fairfield delivers McCoy, looking to steal second. He's there! A stolen base for Zach McCoy. McCoy showing off the wheels. Here it is again. Look at that slide into second.
And supposedly, I was told incessantly since he got to hit and did get a hit, which I wasn't enthusiastic about on the call, that he is fast and that he looked fast going up the bases, and he shows it off there.
This is sent out a play from Martinez. He get that off you?
He did not hit that off me. No, he did not. He got that off the Buckley Bombers. He couldn't get a hit off of me. I hope he watches this back and clips it.
Save that for a future conversation down the road. 2-1 the count on Xander Martinez with McCoy at second. And a look at McCoy, and he returns to the bag. Oh, you gotta love it. The entertainment that we're all here for. Here's the 2-1 awaiting for Martinez. Fly ball into center field. And the catch is made by Nick Griffin, and that retires the side. McCoy does walk, but he's left stranded. Morgan County looks to...
Said I love to put a smile on your pretty little face. I love it when you're close to me. That's where I want you to always be. I didn't know when I found you that I would find a love so true. And you can see
We start at the top of the 7th inning in this exhibition game between the Nebraska Outlaws and Morgan County Wranglers. Danny Buck joined alongside Bob Parsons. Braden Basie remains on the mound as we look to see what he can do as the Outlaws look to close out the contest.
Hopefully they can try and get out of this without needing a bottom half of the 7th inning. It'll be interesting to see which coaches they send up this inning in the form of the Wranglers.
And it begins first with Silas Balke, who is in the 9 spot. And it appears Morgan County looks to employ their full unit with Tariq Reese warming up. First pitch leads to a ground ball from Balke, played by the third baseman Cho. Throw over to first in time for the out.
We see him take reps over there almost every day, and he shows them off there.
What moves from Bumjin Cho? Here's Tariq Reese. And Nebraska to play tomorrow against the Colorado Tribe. Ground ball from Reese. Shortstop Manuel scoops and juggles, and Tariq Reese is aboard for Morgan County.
And again, I understand this is an exhibition game, but you want to try your full effort. You want to try and limit those little mistakes, especially defensively, that we've seen of the Outlaws as of late. That's the second one for Manuel tonight, who's a typical infielder in this infield.
That is 2 of the 3 errors in the game tonight. And again, Nebraska with the lead, 5-3. 1 out, here's McBross with Reese at first. This is lifted in the air. Brock Berry at second base with the catch off the lineout. And Morgan County is down to their final out. And they bring on Nick Griffin. With 2 outs, Griffin steps aboard. As Basie is set to deliver. As Griffin represents the tying run. First pitch across the heart of the plate for ball 1. Want to know the count. In a 5-3 game, Wranglers down to their final out. It's Braden Basie. Vies for the save. The 1-0. Grounder by Griffin, played by Basie. He steps on the bag, and the Outlaws have won the game. They defeat Morgan County by the count of 5-3 in the exhibition, as they look their way tomorrow with another exhibition on deck. But what a confidence-building win for the Outlaws here today.
That's something that you really need here. Having some guys get in the lineup that aren't typically in there really helps. Kind of boost morale, like McCoy getting an at-bat in that last inning. But they're able to finish off this game cleanly, which is a good sign.
A good sign. Morgan County certainly with some reps, and this game has no bearings to their standings. All this being an exhibition, they are in action on a Friday against the Western Nebraska Pioneers. First pitch at 6:35, followed up by another affair between the Wranglers and Outlaws on Saturday. Again, 6:35 start time. Next Front Range League regular season game takes place on Thursday. And the Pioneers take on the Outlaws on Thursday night. That's all the time that we have for tonight's broadcast. Very special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For our producer, Hayden Fisher, who pushes the buttons for us. And for Bob Parsons, I'm Danny Boggs saying so long and take care, and thanks for joining us. Your final score, the Nebraska Outlaws 5, Morgan County Wranglers 3. You've been listening to the Front Range League Network here from Gering, Nebraska.